Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, live from Team Danny Bax from Dallas, Texas. Welcome to Hanging Out with the Baxman, episode number 199. And now, introducing the host of the show, the man, the myth, the legend, weighing 6'5", 195 pounds, from Pasadena, California. Now representing Big D, the man they call the Baxman, Baxter Berle. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody on YouTube? It's that guy, BAX, Team Back Stand Up. What is going on, everybody? And welcome to Hanging Out with the Baxman, episode number 199. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 199. And we have a very special live stream for us today. But before I jump right into it, let me greet the people we have as I look into the beautiful chat room that I have not seen in a long time. We got Mike O'Reilly. What is going on, Mike? Good to see you, buddy. We got the man, Explosive Phoenix. What the heck is going on, my man? Hopefully you're doing well. I miss you, man. James Garcia, Chills TV, my ghostly mentor. Yeah. And we got Lori Jean. That's the first time I've seen you in a live stream. Welcome. Guys, if this is your first time in my live and you're not already subscribed, make sure you click on that subscribe button so that you can join Team Danny Bax Nation today. Today! You want to be a part of Team Danny Bax, the best family on YouTube by far. And make sure you guys, if you guys haven't already given it a like, make sure you lay the John Cena Smackdown on that like button, because tonight, we're going all out tonight. And oh my goodness, no way! No way! We got everything spicy in the house. We got Kura Milani in the house. And my girlfriend is here. What's going on, babe? How are you doing? All right, you guys. Allow me to explain what tonight's live stream is about. We are going to be, as you can see right here, this is my dad, Papa Jedi, right here. He was featured on a podcast from the amazing and legendary Don Yaegar. He is absolutely incredible. He's quite a bit of a big deal. I'm getting hyped because I'm here. There we go! You gotta be hyped. If you're not here and you're not hyped, what are you doing? We need to be hyped because I am ready. So tonight was a little bit of an interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen. We were supposed to have our very first episode of Hanging Out. Not that. We were supposed to have Connecting with Bax and Friends interview number 1. But unfortunately, our very special guest was feeling a little bit under the weather. So we were not able to get that. So that will probably be moved to a date to be determined later. What is going on, Michael? Oh, no. Oh, no. Wait. Ah, dang it. Oh, heck. I can't get my shades. It's Leanne Michelle. Ah! What is going on? That's my sister right there. And then there's my girlfriend. What a beautiful soul that she is. All right, you guys. So this right here, for the World Wide Web to know, this is my father. Yes. He's a very handsome-looking fellow. Don't let the age distract you. He is a very charming young man. I look just like him, except I'm not 50. And I'm a very old 21-year-old, which is kind of old. So let me give you guys a background. So this guy right here is Don Yaegar. And Don Yaegar is a very interesting man. So he has this podcast called The Competitor. Where'd it go? The Competitive or Corporate Competitive Podcast. And it's where he interviews people, especially with sports backgrounds, and how he takes successful business people and applies it, and how they use sports example to be an example for their how their successful life turned out to be. If that is, I'm probably not wording that the way that I need to. He has covered quite a number of people. He's covered Michael Jordan. He's covered, I believe, Serena Williams. He's covered a lot of different people. As you can see right here, as an award-winning keynote speaker, business leadership coach, 11 times. That's 11 times. That's about the same number of championship rings as Bill Russell. 11-time New York Times bestselling author and longtime associate editor for Sports Illustrated, Mr. Don Yaegar has fashioned a career as one of America's most provocative thought leaders. He has worked with audience as diverse as Fortune 500 companies and cancer survivor groups. And for those of you, I'm not going to go to full all of this, but he has quite the resume. I will leave a link down to his website so you guys can learn a little bit more about Mr. Don Yaegar. Let me see if I missed any. Oh, you're 21 too. Oh, no. I can't. You're 21 19 times. There's only one person that can do that, Leanne. If you guys haven't already given this a like, I am about to jump into the gosh dang thing right now. All right, you guys. I need to know, are you guys hyped? Are you guys as hyped and fired up as I am? I have been waiting for the longest time to do this. Nobody's more excited about this than me. And as crazy as it is, you haven't seen anything from me yet. There it is, the Corporate Competitor Podcast right here. Oh, look at that. Most popular episode. I wonder why. Let me see. Oh, wait. Oops. I didn't add that to the stream. All right. So first, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little bit of a background to what before I play this of my father, I want to give you guys a little transcript of what you guys will be listening to this very evening. In this heartfelt conversation, you will learn how to overcome self-doubt, shorten the life cycle of failure, and be a brave leader through incredible stories of Dolph's track and field experience at Harvard and beyond. Athletically, applying these leadership lessons led him to the pole vaulting world championships for masters and the set of American Ninja Warrior. Corporately, his pole vaulting motto, "Choose to be brave before you start," shaped his 2 decades of C-suite experience, including serving as the COO of Diedrich Coffee, COO of House of Blues Entertainment, president of Lucky Strike, president and COO of Dave & Buster's, and now CEO of the popular sports entertainment company Top Golf, where he oversees 20,000 employees in 25 countries. In the first half of Don Yaegar and my father's discussion, he opens up about one of the most emotional moments in his family's life. In the second half, he reveals the most difficult moment of his corporate life that took place after the September 11th terrorist attacks. Culture is created by design or default. Use these best practices from episode 1 to design your company culture. Okay. James is hyped for 24 hours. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. And all right. So I'm going to go ahead. I will be in the chat on my phone right here. And are you guys ready? I think I'm ready. Let me know, are you ready? I need to know if you're ready. If you guys have not shared this out, please do so. Ladies and gentlemen, without further explanation or further delay, I present to all of you Don Yaegar interviewing my father, Papa Jedi. Let's go!
What do most Fortune 500 executives have in common? They learned important lessons on the fields and courts of their high school and collegiate sports teams. This is true for both men and women. Ernst & Young found that a whopping 94% of women holding a C-suite position today played sports. Their wins and losses shaped their habits and who they would become. Join me on my journey to sit with some of the brightest executives in the world as we discuss how sports shaped their professional trajectory in life. I'm your host, Don Yaegar, and this is Corporate Competitor Podcast. With me for today's episode is Dolph Berle. Dolph began his track and field career at Monument Mountain Regional High School and rose to become a member of the Harvard Collegiate Track and Field team in the early 1980s. Now, he sits on the board for USA Track and Field and continues to find athletic success. Dolph is the number 2 ranked decathlete in the world for his age group and participated in 2 seasons of American Ninja Warrior. Today, he is CEO of the uber popular sports entertainment company, Top Golf, where he oversees 20,000 employees in 25 countries.
You have to decide to be brave before you start. Then in the moment, you have to execute against that and keep interfering thoughts that might relate to fear or doubt, and you have to keep them at bay. And if you practice that over and over again, you actually become better and better at it.
Dolph, thanks so much for joining us.
It is just great to be with you, Don.
I appreciate you, and the opportunity now to learn more from you is meaningful. And I know how important athletics is to you. And in fact, in the prep work, had a chance to go back and look at some of your career at Monument Mountain Regional High School in Massachusetts. By the way, congratulations on being inducted into that school's Hall of Fame. But you gravitated in all of your sporting gifts to track and field. And I'm wondering why.
Well, Don, this takes me way back, even before high school. And I grew up in a pretty remote part of Massachusetts in the far west, and dairy farming was the family business. And I remember my earliest memories of anything athletic was that we had carpentry available to us, and we had a lot of hay bales. And the ability to go out and run and jump and fly through the air is something that I loved from my very earliest memories, even as a child, just going and jumping on pillows. So high jumping and eventually pole vaulting and certainly long jumping were all things that I really connected with at a very young age. And then as I got a little older, the whole concept and passion and history around the Olympics really captured my imagination and the intellectual part of my life. And so track and field just was a natural fit with all of those things.
I love it. And then you go to Harvard, where you're part of the track and field team there. Was there a coach? Was there someone who helped you kind of wrap your arms around some of these concepts about what you were learning?
Yes.
And how you could apply them?
One was a man named Ed Stoll. And Ed was the head coach for the junior varsity at Harvard. He was a guy who went out of his way for me and took a chance, and he really allowed me to learn something that I think many of others might not have had the patience for. And the second coach was a guy named Al Bashian. And so Al was the jumps and throws coach. And one of the very interesting things about that time was that the physicists, and he was one of them, felt that women were not going to be able to pole vault. And women, in fact, at that time didn't compete in pole vault and essentially weren't allowed into the sport. And there was a rationale that they had, which was that with a lower center of gravity, a woman would not be able to pole vault because she would have to be disproportionately strong in her arms in order to invert. And it turns out that that was just absolutely incorrect. It is just ridiculous because women are pole vaulting now higher than most of us male athletes did when we were in college. It's so interesting to me that the paradigms of the day and some of the biases and norms and frankly prejudices were a barrier to women pole vaulting. And I'm very thrilled today that we have more social justice around this. And in fact, some of my greatest heroes today are women who compete in the pole vault who are my age and older. And there are many of them. I see them at world championships, at masters competitions. And they're women who were told that they could not pole vault when they were young and then took it up in middle age or even perhaps as grandmothers. And they are the bravest and best of all of us.
I love that. I mean, that's the beauty of sports in my mind. If we're willing to be open to it, there's amazing things there that can help us kind of find new places to go.
For sure. And the legendary stories of great track and field athletes, like the relationship between Jesse Owens and Lutz Long, who I get choked up just thinking about it, actually. Lutz Long was a white German who I think may have even been a part of the Nazi party, but he became a friend of Jesse Owens because of their competition together in the long jump in the Olympics that was over in Germany. And so Jesse Owens, of course, a remarkable hero to so many of us, but Lutz also found his better self through sports.
Yeah. In Walter magazine, you wrote about self-doubt and frustration and its role as you stand at the end of the runway, and how you have to overcome that before you can actually take off to become special. So I'm just wondering, what has pole vaulting taught you about mental strength?
When I think about pole vaulting, I think about practiced courage. It is an everyday effort to practice being braver than your instincts want you to be. So when you're at the end of the runway with a big long pole that's fairly stiff, the way to pole vault well is to run as fast as you can and plant the pole as hard and as high as you can. And then you have to get upside down and trust that you have enough speed and enough power, because if you don't do all those things, you will be rejected and you'll go fairly high into the air and be thrown backwards back onto the runway or onto the ground. And that's fairly dangerous. So it takes a huge amount of commitment and a real mental commitment to totally put yourself into a situation that demands utmost effort and also demands great courage in the moment. So what it teaches you is that you have to decide to be brave before you start. And then in the moment, you have to execute against that and keep interfering thoughts that might relate to fear or doubt and you have to keep them at bay. And if you practice that over and over again, you actually become better and better at it. And so to me, pole vaulting is about practiced courage. And it's taught
braver
me,
than your instincts.
yes, to be braver than all of your very good instincts, such as don't run fast towards something dangerous and don't turn upside down because you want to land on your feet. But it takes all of that mentally to do your very best. And that's what I really love about it.
You know, I love too that you continue to find athletic success, right? You're currently ranked number one. You're the number one ranked decathlete in the USA for your age group. You're number two in the world in the decathlon in 2019. Yes. You're that rare CEO that I know who continues to compete at that world-class level while running an enormous business. Why do you continue to compete?
Well, I think I have to tell you why I started competing again to really answer that question. Sure. So I stopped competing as a competitive athlete in roughly 1986. I competed a little bit at the University of Zimbabwe after I had finished my time as a Harvard undergrad. And then I didn't compete again until I was 38 years old. And there were a couple of things going on in my life at that time that propelled me back into being a competitive athlete. The primary one was that my first son, Bax, he was diagnosed with autism. And this was emotionally shattering for our family because at that time, the prognosis for someone diagnosed with autism was very grim. We were told he would likely never talk and never be potty trained. And so I realized that I would have to be strong for the fight that would last likely my whole lifetime, the remainder of my lifetime, and beyond. So I thought really hard about where could I find strength to do that. And what I found was that my dreams and identity and the times that I had felt strongest was when I was competing and when I had an identity as a decathlete. Because if you're a decathlete, you thrive on overcoming obstacles and adversity. So I got back into masters athletics at roughly age 38 and decided that I would be as disciplined as I could about that, training in the early morning because I had lots of other commitments. And it gave me access to strength and also joy. Because I have a little post-traumatic stress still about that time in my life because as I think back on it, there was just such an intense time, particularly as it related to my son. And so since that time, I've been training to be a decathlete and a pole vaulter, and it's been a remarkable journey. I had the chance to, at age 40, come in second in the world in pole vault, and then I was fourth in the decathlon, and then again later at 50, I won the world championship in the pole vault, and I was third in the decathlon, and then at 55, I won again as the pole vaulter. So for me, it's become a way of life and an identity and a source of strength and joy that allows me to do a lot of other things in my life. And I should say that I'm very happy to report that my son is doing so much better than any expectations we had. And so that, I think, is really a function of my great wife and as much effort as I could put in to be, disciplined and steadfast and persistent and help him as much as possible. And today he's actually a basketball coach and he's coaching Special Olympic teams and doing it with remarkable passion and great skill.
I love that. You and I have shared many stories. We have that in common. And I love the continued support you give him and to the autism community. You serve as an inspiration to many of us, myself included, in that area.
Well, Don, I admire you. I know your son is doing, I think, pretty well as well. And it's great that we can have community for the journey that our sons are on.
Yeah. You mentioned this window, though, so you're entering the idea of re-engaging in competition, 38. It's obviously very personally driven, and thank you for sharing that. You basically spent the last 20 years in C-level roles, right? And while also doing this. How has one benefited the other?
Well, I think that I have always performed best when more and more discipline was required in my life. And so discipline around training and intensity around that and the importance of understanding and the constant reminder that you need a coach, and you need coaching from friends and people you admire. And also, I would say that being a competitor and competing is itself a skill. So when I was not competing, which was essentially between age 26 and 38, something was missing. You would sort of remember the great competitive moments that you'd had, and you try to draw strength from them. But if you're actively competing and you're pointing towards your next competition in life, there is an edge that you have, and a clarity and a state of mind that actually carries over into everything else that you do. So one of the things that I would say is, when you're an active competitor, the colors in your life are brighter and like the music is more awesome, and everything is just crisper and sharper. So for me, having that in my life in a way that I appreciate it and can share it with other people is something that I bring in terms of spirit and how I want to live each day into all my professional meetings and professional relationships.
I love that. There's an edge and a clarity that carries over into all the other things you do. That's so well put. Colors are brighter. Thank you. That's awesome. And it's exactly what we're trying to encourage here, is an understanding that there is a direct relationship between being able to be your best in the C world, right? In the competitive world as well. So thank you. Then you did American Ninja Warrior.
Woo!
You competed in 2 seasons. Tell me about that experience and why American Ninja Warrior?
Well, I loved watching the show with my family, and the stories were so fantastic. And the whole idea that life is about overcoming obstacles was something that really resonated with me, particularly as you get older and there's more adversity in life. And I noticed that some of the finest competitors were women who were pole vaulters. And so I said to myself, wow, so there's carryover clearly between being a pole vaulter and being an American Ninja Warrior. And at the time that I applied, and I think 77,000 people applied, and they only choose about 700. And the greatness of American Ninja Warrior as a competitor is really the community. It's the people that you stand next to in line and their stories. Because I realized, as I listened to the men and women who were on either side of me in line, that my story really paled in comparison to what they had been through and what inspired them to compete. I should say that I was not a very good American Ninja Warrior. I would have had to train a great deal more to be proficient at it.
Okay. I just want to come out on a limb. Let me pause my dad's beautiful voice for a second. He's being modest. Even though he was not as great enough to make it to TV, he is the greatest American Ninja Warrior in our community. Okay? So can we all just agree that my dad's pretty great at American Ninja Warrior, even though he only made it past obstacle number 1? Yeah. No, that's actually a really good question. I'm glad that you touched on that. American Ninja Warrior is it's kind of like Wipeout a little bit, but it's pretty much anybody can go on Wipeout. Like Leanne could go on Wipeout if she wanted to. She'd probably do better than all of us combined if we're going to be completely honest with each other. But yeah, but like American Ninja Warrior, like those obstacles are tough. Like you gotta like really be full on committed to like a really great routine, spend time in the ninja gym. Like there are so many different types of backgrounds. Like some people range from being police officers. Some are pole vaulters, like my dad just mentioned. Then there's other people that literally do nothing but are stuntmen and rock climbers, and that's what they do. That's just what they do. So it definitely takes, like there are guys that have competed on the show that are like in their mid 60s. It's a lot tougher than it looks, and especially when the lights are on, it's definitely a lot of pressure. You don't want to see me on Wi-Fi. Leanne, I think you would do pretty well, though. Like, I'm going to just say, I think I do pretty well. That I'm just going to come out on a limb and say that you don't want to see me on a game show. Woo! Anyway, let me get back to where my dad picked off. Yeah, it's a really, really fun show. I definitely recommend everybody to watch American Ninja Warrior. It's a lot of fun.
And so it was very humbling. And I didn't make it past the third obstacle in each of my tries. And I actually didn't make it on TV. So people who look me up, I think you'll see that I was an American Ninja Warrior, but you won't see video of it, which is sort of a gift, if I might say. But the big lesson is, if you can find joy in doing something hard, that's a pretty good life, because it's very difficult, those obstacles. They're very difficult. They're very intimidating, particularly in person. They're much bigger than they look on TV. And in some respects, pole vaulting is that way as well. And so the big lesson for me is find joy in doing something hard. And then ideally, you also find a community of people who you can do it with so that you can support each other. And that's something that you can really look forward to every week and every month if you have that in your life.
Wow, I love that. So I want to transition now a little bit into some of your executive leadership discussions and how some of what you learned there has played its way in. And I'm wondering, building and creating a team and creating depth and some of these elements that are often the pain points of executives. How has your competitive background helped you as an executive leader?
In so many ways, Don. Let me first say that one of the great aspects of sport is being in the zone, and those peak moments when you feel like you're really at your best, and it's almost a religious experience, because your body and your mind are totally in sync with what you're doing. So the specific conditions that you try to create as a leader and a manager around that are really clear goals and immediate feedback. You want people to be engaged but not overwhelmed. You want them free from distractions, and you don't want them to be worried about failure, because you want them to be brave and to be able to execute a plan. So for me, all of the aspects of trying to be in the zone as an athlete and the conditions that are required translate directly over into what kind of a leader do you want to be to get the most out of people. And if all of those conditions are ones you can create, you will get a great outcome as a business person, and people will be joyful while they're working. Here's an example. So one of the moments I will never forget in my business career was right at when 9/11 happened. So at that point, you may recall that all kinds of things came to a standstill in terms of our nation. And that was true also for those of us running businesses. And we were worried about the people in our organization. We were worried for the country. We were worried about our P&L, right? What would happen to our business if the economy ground to a halt? And so a moment that I will never forget was pulling the entire senior team of House of Blues together. And we had probably 14 of us in the room. And we, in the space of 3 hours, created a battle plan that was designed to ensure that we would reach our financial goals for the end of the year. And it took a whole lot of really incisive, deep thinking and some courageous moves. And everyone had to dig really deep and do things they hadn't done before. And it was one of the most powerful sessions of my business life. And I say that because the people around me were so focused and so in the game and such great teammates with each other. And in fact, we pulled it off. We recovered everything that was going sideways for us as a result of that horrible tragedy. And we were successful. That would be just one example in my career where some of the concepts we've talked about here came to bear with a management team in a business.
And with that management team, is there any tip on sustaining that?
Yes. Well, a crisis And also a really peak experience is something that you can draw strength from for years and years after that fact. We were never the same team after that. We knew that we had the ability to rise to an occasion. We knew we could count on each other. We knew that even if we didn't have everything figured out, that we could figure it out if we had to. I really just try to be who I am and transparent with our whole organization. And because I'm a bit older than most of the people who work for us, I'm happy enough to, if people ask, to share about what I do athletically and about my son and about different places I've lived and different things that have been difficult and failures that I've had and different things that have added up to being able to do a job like this. So in my mind, if you're a CEO, you just have to bring your whole person to it, and you actually can't escape your whole person. So I just go all in on that, and I realize that I'm not really defined by my title. I have a title, but I'm much more defined by who I am and how I move through the world and how I interact with people and what we do. And so that's what I'm focused on.
Love it. A couple of last questions here. One, you've obviously had success in both professional, executive, what you're doing at Topgolf right now, the explosive growth, it's so impressive. You've had success, as we mentioned, in the athletic space. Do you have a window on celebration or enjoyment of a high level win? I'm just intrigued by that every time I get a chance to talk to someone of your caliber.
Well, in terms of a window, it's certainly the case in life that you should celebrate while the celebrating is good, because there's only a short window when you can really celebrate something remarkable, because then the rest of life goes on. So I do think it's important to do that. I will say that the greatest joy that I have as a leader is really recognizing other people with their achievements, because it is such a pleasure to get in front of a group of people and talk about someone you admire or a team that you admire and tell their story and the aspects of their story that we can all learn from. So recognition is actually a huge part of any company culture. And what you recognize and the stories you tell are the things that craft that culture and give people identity within that culture, because really that's my job.
Yeah. And then lastly on this, just flipping that, there are also windows athletically, professionally, when we fail, when we don't hit the, I guess in executive sense, when you don't hit the bar, maybe in your athletic sense, when you do hit the bar.
Sure.
Right? How do you dissect the failure? Is there something that you would maybe share with us where maybe those two worlds have collided for you, where you've got some strategy around breaking down something that doesn't quite go right?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to take 100% responsibility when a failure occurs. If I get hurt and therefore I fail, or if our team doesn't perform and therefore we fail, or if I individually fail in some way, what I like to believe is there's a reason why. So you try to go back and understand what it was about your preparation or your mindset or how you think about life and how things work, and try to understand what it was that led to an outcome that you didn't want. By the way, I don't consider it a failure to lose if you're beaten by someone who is just so much better than you. I actually enjoy being in the company of people who are so awesome. And so with that, it's really just a question of what can you learn? What can you learn from something that didn't go well that you can apply to the next situation where you hope to do better?
Yeah. Balance is a huge issue, whether you're a student athlete, right? Whether you're a CEO trying to juggle roles as husband, father, your work with Make-A-Wish on the national board, your work on the board of USA Track and Field. Anything you would offer to us, to me, about your work in balance and how you try to maintain that with all of those different things pulling at you?
Well, I think that the way to be the most balanced is to find real joy in the things that you do. And if you find enough joy in the different things that you do, then you will be able to do more. And of course, time management is important and all of those types of things. But for me, I try to think back to what I really wanted to be when I was like 9 years old. And I think about the qualities and the type of life that I had hoped to have when I was that young. And then I compare that to, what's happening today. And of course, you don't expect some of the adversity that you run into and everyone runs into when you get older. But I've always enjoyed being a competitor and someone doing sports. I also enjoyed things in the music and creative realm. I enjoyed being with other people and being on teams. And so I've really crafted an approach that involves trying to compete at a high level athletically, doing everything I can to support and help my family, and to be the best CEO that I can. And I recognize that that's probably narrower than a lot of other things I could be involved with. But if I focus on those three things, I really get a lot of joy and satisfaction out of it.
I've actually had a chance to be at a Topgolf facility with you that wasn't a home facility for you. And what you're doing at Topgolf right now, the explosive growth, it's so impressive.
We are in 25 countries and we have 20,000 plus people who work in the company. And our essential mission is to bring joy to the world and to transform a sport. And we do that through a combination of hospitality and technology. And so you might run into us in terms of our venues or Top Tracer, which you see on TV. We also have an online game called World Golf Tour, where we have a number of different things we're doing. But it's a real blast to be able to be in this job at this time in this company, because we're growing like crazy. So it's really a great ride.
I know you were killing it at Dave & Buster's, and it was really a lot of fun. And when you made the transition, I had the chance to read more about Topgolf. It's got to be fulfilling for you to be there right now. The most
fulfilling part is seeing so many people, many of them, and these are all the people who work for us, many of whom really hadn't had much privilege in their background by way of education or where they were born or the family they were in, and giving them careers where they can grow and blossom and be just awesome. And so I'm just really grateful for the people I work with and the opportunity we can provide for all of them.
And you're encouraging them to be brave.
So I'll tell you a fun story. So in my office here, I have a whole bunch of Captain America golf balls. And I give them out to people, and I always write the same words. I write, "You can be brave," and I sign it. And that's my special thing that I give to all the folks who might need that special ball at a certain moment. You can be brave.
I love it. Well, Dolph, once again, it's just an incredible gift that you've given to us to share perspectives and stories. And I love all that you continue to do on behalf of others. I'm honored that you spent this time with us here today.
Thank you so much, Don. What a pleasure for me.
Wow. What a vulnerable and insightful discussion with Dolph Berle. I want to.
How about that, huh? Can we just have a slow golf clap for the greatness that we have just watched? What the heck we've just seen? That's what I'm talking about right there. We have 12 likes on the stream. Guys, what a great stream that we had. But you know what? I want to take this time to talk about how much my father has a big influence on my life. My dad is probably the number one person that I can go to. Well, actually, better. No. I'm not going to say that because I go to my mom also just as much. But a lot of my action in terms of closeness is with Papa Jedi, you guys. We go to Disney together. We do a lot of stuff together, and we have created a lot of stuff that is seen within our Team Danny Bax community because of Papa Jedi. The Disney streams, Super Bowl are just two examples right there. None of that is remotely and closely possible without my father. None of that is possible without my dad working his hind end off, okay? So if we can just take this moment to appreciate both not only my father, but my mother as well, for how hard that they have worked for the sake of not just my well-being, but also for your guys' entertainment as well, because they knew how important it was to me. They know how important all of you guys and ladies and kids are important to the Baxman. So if we can just have a moment to appreciate Mom and Papa Jedi. Thank you. Thank you, Mom, and thank you, Dad. Because if it wasn't for you two, I would not be where I'm at today, and I sure as heck would not be recovered today without any of you two. So thank you. So then I want to also cover a little bit. Unless some of you guys have a few more things that you want to add, please do feel free. Leanne, I have the greatest family, and you guys are all of my family too. I love each and every single one. I do not hate anybody. There is not a single person. I have a mix of feelings for a commander-in-chief, but that's a story, of course, for another day. But outside of that, there is not a single human on this earth that I hate. There is not a single person. In a lot of times, you guys, even when I was going through as much as I was going through a year ago, a year or two ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, I was going through a lot. And especially what YouTube has taught me is that you just can never let people get to you. And this is a lesson that I have taken to heart, and I have matured. I have grown. Anybody who has, my girlfriend is a classic example of this. We talk every single day. There is one thing that I have taken the last month or two to really fully realize. When I was in a crisis, when I felt like I did not see any purpose in living my life at all this time I was worried about hateful people that were trying to do anything they can to tarnish my family and me to no success whatsoever. That it's quite funny, actually. But the reality is I was not spending enough brain power on the people that loved me the most. I had to take so much time off to really fully realize that. I have people at Kingdom. I have my girlfriend, my mom, my dad, my siblings. I got Leah and Michelle, of course. I have all of you. I do not care. Well, of course I do. But it doesn't matter to me. I could have this number of viewers right now, but as we are going to slowly get to where we used to be when we used to have 20 people in here. And I know Daniela remembers those days. I know she does. We just have to keep it going. I am going to do everything in my willpower. But ladies and gentlemen, as Corin comes into the chat, how you doing, my lovely friend? There's something, as much as I have talked about my struggles, with mental health, which I do not take back whatsoever, and as much as I have tended and released onto this platform, as much as I have, in all signs of trouble, I can honestly say that I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. I really do feel and consider myself lucky. I was never supposed to be here at all. But the fact that I'm here and I'm using my voice for the last 15, 16 years, when from ages 2 through 5, I couldn't use my voice to express myself. Well, gosh dang it, I am going to express myself. I will stand up for my family, for myself, and I sure as heck will stand up for all of you. Because I love you. And you love me. But if it's one thing I have come to learn, I cannot do this by myself. I cannot. I could lose subscribers every single day. But that will not stop me. I will not let other people define who I am anymore. I will not let people control my life like people have for the last 1.5 to 2 years. I am not a saint. I am not an angel. I am Baxter Wild freaking Berle. And you know what? I am gosh dang proud to be Baxter Wild Berle. I am proud to be Coach Bax. I am proud to be the Jedi Balloon Master on this YouTube platform. But I am more than that. I'm Bax. And that is the greatest gift that I can give. But I have no hate in my heart. I cannot. It was overruling my life. Even in times of trouble, while standing up for myself, you guys, in some ways I was being a bit hateful. Do I apologize for being hateful? Absolutely. But I do not apologize for standing up and doing the right thing. So let me see what the rest of you are saying. I appreciate the balloons in the chat, you guys. Thank you all so much. I have been going through so much, and my girlfriend is all too familiar with this. So much stuff has been going on. Work, coming up with ways to make you guys happy with my content. Losing my cousin in horrific and tragic fashion that makes me just appreciate life so much more. And makes me really, truly value what life really is. And it makes me grateful that I have each and every single one of you. There are going to be times, ladies and gentlemen, we will laugh together. We will cry together. But most importantly, no matter what, especially if you stick around long enough, we will love each other through everything. You guys have pushed me as much as I have pushed maybe some of you. I could not have asked for a better life situation. This little boy was not supposed to be anything. Look at this guy now. Does anybody have anything else they want to add? Because I think I am about to sign off in just a little bit. I want to thank each and every single person tonight. I have not felt this great in a long, long time. And I am proud of each and every single one of you this evening. We're going to slowly work our way back up to the top again. But nothing can destroy the family dynamic of this situation, of this family that we have together. I love you so much, Corin, and I appreciate you for coming in. I know that a lot of things have been keeping you busy at work, but definitely take care of your family first. And I'm so happy that you all are coming, that you all came here this very evening. So you guys, here's what I want you guys to look out for the future, okay? Connecting with Baxman Friends. It's a brand new series. I am looking for people to interview. I will be, for those that have my number and those that talk via DM, I will make a video actually. Not sure when, but I will put out a video at some point explaining more details about what you guys can expect. But be on the lookout for that. That was supposed to be episode 1 tonight, but unfortunately, circumstances happened. So we will push that interview to another day. I hope you guys had fun tonight. Anytime I can come on here, I feel super great. It impacts my day so much, especially because I've been away for, I feel like, 2 years. So the fact that I'm not watching somebody else and the fact that I'm here with all of you, very, very rewarding. And I know I can't be at Disney, and I know it. A lot of people were coming in and out, but I'm not like everybody else. It took me a long time to figure that out. I'm me. This is the Bax life, and all of you are living in my movie. That is the Bax life. Leanne, gosh dang it. Well, you better just let me know then. You 21-year-old you. Well, you guys, it's been a very, very pleasant evening. I know that we have 9 people in here. We're actually at our most viewers of the night. I don't have very much more I want to add, but I sincerely appreciate each and every single one of you. No words possible can describe how I feel about you guys, ladies, kids, whoever. You guys inspire me just as much as I hope to inspire each and every single person I come across. I know I can't make everybody happy, but I do my absolute best. Even when it doesn't look like I'm doing my best, I'm trying. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, you guys, I know that I don't want to ramble on and on because I feel like I do that when I get so passionately involved. If you guys have anything that you want to add, like closing statements, if you guys want to, if any of you are brand new to my channel and you are quite curious, I do have social media. You can follow me at the following locations. Facebook, you can find me at Baxter Berle, BAXTERBERLE. You can also find me on Instagram at the following accounts: Baxter_Berle 1999 and team_Bax_Nation. Although I'm going to be honest, I need to change that Team Bax Nation to something else. Don't I, babe? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time on my channel, and you see that little box down there, The one that says subscribe and it's red? What are you doing? Make sure you guys click that subscribe button today. Guys, I'm back. I'm Bax again. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button so that you, my friend, that's right, you. I'm looking at you, and I got to. Oh, no. Oh, no. You thought he wasn't. Oh, no. That's right. Doodle's back. Guys, make sure you lay the John Cena SmackDown. You thought I forgot about the John Cena SmackDown? No. We always do things bigger in Texas. Guys, lay down the John Cena SmackDown on the like button because we're going all the way up, especially the Baxman. Because Team Bax has to stand up. Wait. Oh, man. I did it again. Hey, guys. Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? 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 Oh, hi, guys. I didn't see you down there. My tall self got in the way. It's a live stream. It happens a lot, doesn't it? Also, you guys, make sure you share this out with your friends, your families, and your turtles. Because it feels like a redundant phase. But, guys, you got it. The turtles, man. The turtles. How are you going to forget about the turtles? Do you want Doodle to be sad? Like, can I channel my... Doodle, you ready? Turtle face? I can't do a turtle face. That's the best I got. But, guys, Doodle wants you to share out to all of his turtle friends. And if you don't have a turtle, you need one. Find a raccoon. Find a horse. Tell everybody that you know. Because Team Danny Vaccination is back than ever before. And it's only getting better from here. And as always, you guys, just like this young man that you see, and take a good long look at him, America, and international viewers everywhere. Take a long, hard look at this young guy right here. Just like this guy, you never know somebody else's life situation or where they came from. Be respectful. Be kind. In fact, that's what Ellen DeGeneres says at the end of all of her shows. Be kind. Make sure you guys are always doing random acts of kindness and just be kind to people. Don't be a jerk. You never know somebody else. Be a friend. You never know. It's always important to be kind to people all the time. That's the most important thing. As long as you're doing your part, that is the best thing you can do. And as always, my friends, you thought you thought I forgot about the Team Bax salute? No. I may have been away, but I never forget anything. Guys, my name is Coach Bax. Actually, it's Baxter Berle, a.k.a. the Jedi Balloon Master, a.k.a. the Baxman, who goes by way too many nicknames on this YouTube platform. But I know that you all remember some of them. I have it in a notebook for that very reason. And as always, you guys, most importantly, go check out some of the other videos I've done, especially the new ones. I've uploaded a lot of new videos lately. You don't want to miss those. Make sure you guys turn those notifications on as well. The Liberty Bell. It's very important. All right, you guys. As always, my friends, I want you all to do it with me. God first. God bless. Most importantly, you guys, balloons in the chat as we do the outro. Don't forget to keep it Team Danny Bax in terms of all positivity. I love you guys so, so much. Love you ladies so much. Love the kids. Love everybody so much. Thank you for everything that you've ever done for me. And I will see you in Hanging Out with the Baxman, episode number 200, at least approximately. I deleted a good portion of them. I don't even remember, but 200. Let's go with that. Let's go! Let's go! See you all soon. Thank you for a wonderful night. Let's go!